Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Donjo number 61-PB-VF. This is a flat front wraparound plate for deadbolts with 2 1/8 inch holes, 4 by 4.5 inch, and polished brass. So let's dissect the part number. First of all, 61 is a reference to the door wrap or door reinforcer itself, but also all of the dimensional properties of the item. The 61 means that this unit is the following. It's got an overall width of 4 inch. It's got a height of 4.5. It's for a 2 1/8 inch hole prep. The back set is at 2 3/8, and it's 4 1.75 inch thick door. When you say 61, you mean all of that, is the bottom line. So that's how the part number is. The PB in the part number means polished brass. It means three things, actually. It's made of solid brass, that it has a polished finish on it, and that it has a lacquer on it. And by the way, that's a peel-away protective film that the shop, obviously when they were manufacturing this material, probably used their die or whatever machine is to punch the brass material from the greater sheet, probably marked on there in their marker what they were making, realizing that all gets peeled off. Okay, it also means that it's 0.032 inch thick. Let's test that. The material thickness, the caliper says it's 0.037, so 0.037. Then the VF. The VF means this. Means flat front. You can have a CW as well. The CW is the recessed area for your latch bolt to fit into. If you have a drive-in type latch bolt, you would probably want to use a VF model, or if you're going to apply this over a latch, or what you're going to do is attach such a latch to the end of the plate itself with the included what they call speed nuts, okay, which will clamp over the back side or the latch bolt itself, the face of the latch. And then you use these extreme flat undercut head. An undercut head means that the underside of the head is not a V, it's a V that's cut under, like that, so that you can get a flush screw head condition in a very thin piece of metal. You can attach the latch to the plate that way, and that's not uncommon when you have such a severely damaged door that there is literally nothing to attach it back to. But you could also use the CW model in the same circumstance, provided that you have a mortised face latch bolt. If you've got something that's a drive-in style latch, that could work very easily here, but if your door is significantly damaged, there's nothing to attach that drive-in latch to, if there's no wood to attach it to, and then there's nothing to attach it to the edge itself, okay, that sort of scenario. So you'll have to be cautious of what you're purchasing so that it's compatible with what you're working on. You'll see a link, you'll see an image below this video showing how the speed nuts slip over the end of that mortise face latch. This is for deadbolts generally. If you're going to have a lock set, they're generally taller, but you can use this for a lock as well. If the height that we spoke about earlier, you know, your 4.5 inch height, if that works for you, there you go. This is perfect. Again, this is called a flat front design, is what the VF stands for. Now, you can order this item in different materials. You can get it in a solid brass-based material. You'll get a PB for polished brass. You get an AB for antique brass, antique bronze, actually. No, forgive me, that's antique brass. It would be like a US 5 or a 609 antique brass. BZ, that would be for a satin bronze finish. The 10B, they mean to say oil-rubbed bronze, but it's not oil-rubbed bronze. It's going to be a Duranonic powder coat over likely a stainless base material. It will be complementary to oil-rubbed bronze, but it will not be oil rub bronze. So keep that in mind. They shouldn't call it 10B at all. It leads people to believe it's not. It's something other than it is. It's a powder coat dark brown paint over a base material, generally stainless. And then, of course, you can get a stainless base material with a satin stainless finish. There's a link below this video to the template, which will show you all the important dimensional properties beyond what I've already discussed. And the only thing we've not mentioned is that that hole is in the center line of the height. There's a link below this video as well to the product catalog, which is very handy because it will allow you to review the 61 and the immediate sister products to the 61 door reinforcer. You'll see that on page 1F, or at least of the current model. It's handy to look there because you can easily get different part numbers for different wraparound plates when your dimensional requirements change. So you're in good shape in that regard with using the catalog. Now, again, use this where you need a deadbolt, a lock. If the 4.5 by 4, 2 3/8, 2 1/8, 1 3/4 all conspire to be perfect for your application, you're in good shape. I've installed these countless times, and I generally use the CW model because I think I just run into mortised face latch bolts more. They're easy to install. They're thin enough so as not to really intrude on proper door operation. But what you'll probably want to do is do a dry fit first. Remove the lock. Try to mitigate any exploded door damage if it's indeed that's the case. And these are not usually installed in new installations, but very occasionally they are. I've had customers order doors, and they're ordering door reinforcing wraparound plates, and I say, well, why are you ordering these? I know in 6 months someone's going to try to kick this door in, so I'm just putting it on right now. And that's not uncommon. But generally it's after some damage has occurred. They're not used to beautify a door. That would be very unlikely. So damage on the door, you want to mitigate that. If it's exploded, you might want to get in there, remove any ripped out pieces of wood. You might need to glue, clean it out, glue the door, get some glue in there, clamp the door back, and come back and do the repair the next day after you've got something that's not exploded out to work on. Once you've got the door to a position where you can actually start to attach the hardware, get this on there and visually check. Is your hole consistent with has to happen? When this is dry fit, does the door still work? Does it latch? Does it close? Is there conflict by adding this on? If your margin's already a 1/16 of an inch, 0.06, 25, and you're adding something on there that's almost a 0.040, you're going to have binding that's going to occur. In that case, you have to determine, how am I going to mitigate that? You might move the door over on the hinge a little bit if you've got the room. You might have to plane the door down. Occasionally, I've routed the edge of the door, literally routed the edge of the door to sink the plate completely flush with the edge of the door, and then work my hole prep out on the inside of the door so that I can, ovalize that hole a bit so my lock back set will still work. Actually, what I mean is ovalize it over here, file all of the plate, and make it work so that it's still going to be exactly where it needs to be over on this side, whatever the case is. Dry fit it. Once you know you've got a good fit, I would proceed with getting the lock installed on the door, dry fit it again. Then at some point you're going to pre-drill the holes for the 4 screws that are included. I like to put an ever so slight angle on that pre-drill so that when I run the screw in, and these are brass by the way, so be very cautious when you're running that in. They're not magnetic, and I don't believe they're made of zinc. So it'll consider it a softer metal, pre-drill the hole properly, good fitting screwdriver, and when you put that in, when you got that ever slight angle, when the underside of the screw head hits the face of the plate, it will serve to draw the latch protector back tight against the door, ever so slightly. So that's one trick that I do. Then you have, of course, those other 2 funny screws with the flat undercut heads for here, and then again your speed nuts. Okay, good quality product, great quality product. Don't pay attention to the scratch surface. Again, that's just the peel away protective film. Finally, there is a link below this video where you can review not a link to the manufacturer's website from within our website. Let's start that over. A link to the manufacturer's web page within our website, where you can view not only all of the Donjo products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The full product catalog is handy, but it's unwieldy because you get all of it. As a result, we've taken the primary top-level categories and added those catalog links above. For instance, if you want to just look at wraparound plates, just click wraparound plates. If you know the name Donjo, you probably know them as a door-reinforcing wraparound plate manufacturer, or maybe latch guards. But when you look at the rest of the categories, you may not realize that they make strike plates, but their specialty in strike plates is extended lip strikes, which if you have an unusual door condition, you might need an extended lip strike. They get into filler plates, and they get into hinges and door stops and holders, pivots, accessory hardware, kick plates, push and pull hardware. A full manufacturer of trim and auxiliary hardware is the bottom line. I'm partial to Donjo, and it's because they've got a confluence of good quality, good value, good customer service, good, prompt, reliable shipping lead times, and on the rare occasion that they make a mistake, they make it good. They really do. There's no... You don't have to drag the solution out of them, and I really appreciate that. I cannot tell you a reason to not consider Donjo. The only thing I would caution you and say, they manufacture much of what they do to order. So plan ahead. Don't, plan ahead. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks, and you'll be with lead time, and you'll be very satisfied with the quality of their material. If you have any questions on the Donjo number 61 with a VF edge and a PB finish, or any other Donjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.